Hello YouTube, this is Tammy Pie and I'm back with another video. I'm here today to begin our study of SKT, Spirit Keepers Tarot by Benebell Wen. And I'm gonna start with like a class introduction with my experience with Benebell and the Spirit Keepers world. Benebell is now almost finished. I don't know how close she is, but she's almost done with the Atea. She's doing a Book of Thoth Atea deck, a redrawing of it, which is it's still tarot, but it's a veer to the other side of tarot. The SKT is a blending of the two Golden Dawn tarots, the more popular modern tarots, the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Thoth tarot. And in the beginning, she was just drawing this for her own edification. She put a few images on her Instagram, which you could still go follow her Instagram at Bell Wen, Bellwen. And people were saying, wow, this is really cool. You should create a deck. So everything is super intentional. She was already getting some renown for her book, The Holistic Tarot, which is a really, really large and well-researched book that you can still get, and it's great for if you want to look up things like, of course, the basic meanings, a little bit of the history. She does use the RWS primarily in that in that book. But I came to Benebell because she was doing a course on in Ethne's summer school on I Ching and the practitioner. So I took the class, and that was actually the first book and deck that I had of hers. This deck is actually the second printing of this. I used my other one a bunch and then gave it to a friend of mine. But these backs are my own art. She lets you choose your backs when she's doing stuff like this. And it's just the hexagrams. This is her own, I forget what this kind of bone script, maybe. And these are the two trigrams that make up this hexagram. This is the basic meaning for the hexagram without the changing lines. If you want the changing lines, go get the book I Ching Oracle, which is at your local bookstore in the occult section, probably. But I was already I had used the I Ching a lot as a kid. I was given the big yellow book that the German people did through Princeton, I think, or something like that. And I was given a set of yarrow stocks, 51 yarrow stocks, and I would use them, or 50, and I would use them every day. And then I learned how to do the penny thing and ended up giving away the book and the yarrow stocks to someone who I thought would need them more. So when I saw the class, I thought, oh, I'd like to see what someone. Benebell is Taiwanese. I think she's Huan in her background. And this is from The Pocket of Peers by Jamie Sawyer. That's Benebell. But if you go to her website, there is a wealth of information. Her free printables is books and books and books worth. She has information on I Ching, on divination, on the different types of magic. Her blog has all kinds of different stuff. It's just tons and tons of stuff. I also have been a big fan since she started doing them of the metaphysical planner that she does every year. So I have a bunch of those. Do I have mine down here? I think mine is back at the, is this it? Oh no, this was the freebie that came with it. It's not exactly a freebie, it's $5. You pay $5 extra and you usually get something really cool, which this is really cool. She, when one year gave us like the little minis of the Vitruvian. One year she gave us this Way of the Warrior Oracle, which you can is a printable that you can do yourself, which are phrases from the what is the book? The Art of War. Okay, so that is Benebell. Then after all that, she's decides, okay, I'm going to do the deck, and she does it in some outrageously like intense fashion. She gets down there and decides, okay, she makes consecrated ink and lights candles and tries to contact both Crowley and Waite in order to get this done. She inks all these drawings in an incredibly short period of time. I want to say 67 days. She did 78 drawings. And then we ended up with this, right? And everything, even the box, is created with care. Sapre Odd, I think it's Dare to Know. Yeah, Dare to Know. It's right there in the box. Every part of the box has, this is the certificate of authenticity. Everybody was all looking at their numbers. It comes with a little white book. And she gave us stickers. Even the inside of the box is built to be a little altar like this. So you can stand your card up in there if you want to. Anyway. And then, of course, there was the big 700-page book of maps. The original book of maps was all in black and white, and she suggested doing what was called a ritual coloring. Now, some people went all the way with this ritual coloring because the majors, which you can still get as a free downloaded printable, we had already thought, okay, we're gonna color these as we see them, and that's what she suggested doing. That was what was in her mind for people to do. With the original black and white book of maps, I did it by, she had full images of each card. And what I did was I went through the book, I took tracing paper. I keep mine in a Moonlit Fae bag, of course, which has images of the original deck on it. These are the backs. And what she suggested doing was finding one part of this image that speaks to you. So say you see this here, or maybe the halo on the angel. So what I did is I took tracing paper and covered these images in the book, and I colored one piece in red. And I did that for each of the 78 cards. And when I did that, I would read the meaning. And that's how I got through the first book of maps. And I read the whole thing, cover to cover. So there were only 1,000 of these printed. And she honestly didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. And they were sold out in, I want to say minutes. I think not more than a couple hours. So people were bananas. We went to go buy it and it was gone already. What are you going to do? Plus, she and her husband had no idea I mean, they have lives, they have jobs, they have houses, they have families, they have friends. And when 1,000 tarot decks arrives at your door and needs to be sent out to people who have already paid for them and are clamoring at your door, it was a whole thing that she wasn't really entirely prepared for. So they took a break, but almost immediately she was thinking of doing the second printing. And the second printing was the Vitruvian edition. And it's called Vitruvian in part because this one is done in sepia ink. And once again, everything on the box has meaning. I think some of these were printed upside down. Again, it's made so that the box itself is an altar. Each of these had a name, and I think there were only, I want to say there were 1,500 of these. There might have been 2,000. Little white book, magnet. I think there were stickers too, but mine are already in books. And this one came with a book called 22 Weeks with the Vitruvian. And it was a book of practices that you could get to know your deck through doing all these things. And every day there was a different thing. Monday was meditation. Tuesday it was an hour of silence. Wednesday was some kind of strength exercise. It was all meant to not only get you closer to your deck, but also improve your, it was alchemical. Okay? So, and of course we have a little Fae bag. And this is over years and years, okay? So I've been following this girl, and look at the inside, isn't that cool? So there are our 3 fools. The Vitruvian edition was printed really close to the edge, so the bottom edges are a little weird. She changed the shining. The shinings are the knights. The shields are the queens. But these are meant to be like angelic beings. This card was later changed quite a bit. The archangels are the kings. And I think that's part, this was the last card that she finished. The 3 of orbs. And the, here's the bereaved. That's the story of Isis, right? The strongholds are the, and I think she changed this to heralds. But the idea being that old-fashioned thing of all pages have an extra message. So when you get a page, you draw another card. It's a message from spirit. So each one of these cards has a name, okay? And this image here is a little thothy. It's a little frothy, but also it's a little RWSy. And the whole deck is like that. So the book I'm going to be using for this study can be downloaded and printed on Lulu for free. Anybody who wants to do it, I mean, Lulu costs money, but you can download the inside of this and print it at home on your own printer and put it in a ring binder if you want. Okay, and the reason I chose to do this is because this is the only hard copy I have with me. All my books of maps are back in Yakima because I didn't want to carry them with me because they're super heavy. And I have a copy of the latest edition of the Book of Maps on my tablet, which I'm recording on. But I'll take some images off that and put them up when I'm talking about stuff like this. So, and I have Jamie Sawyer tiles of the Vitruvian edition, which I got secondhand. I got these off a friend. Look at that. That's the initiate. No, the seeker. Oh, they're so shiny. Okay. And you can still get these from Jamie Sawyer. They're dear. They're I think $320 for them. And then they come in a if you look under the purple stones here, there's a box here, a birch box, which has her there's like a key there. It's really cool. It's a cool box. Or she has the Revelation in the tiles as well. And those are Benebell, I don't know, maybe she gets a few bucks off of those, but Jamie still does those. So if you really want, you can get one of those decks. On the secondhand market, Spirit Keepers is pretty expensive. But like I said, there are always, there's always that chance, right? Every once in a while, somebody will just be like, okay, I'm getting rid of my collection. Or, maybe you just want to invest. Or you can get the majors on Benebell's website. Cards, I'll be using the second printing of Revelation. But the first printing of Revelation, I want to say she did like 2,400 of the 2,400, something like that. It's on the card. It's on the, 3168. So that's this one. And these were put in orders. So I believe there were 9 orders, something like that. Mine is a shaman, not surprising. The book was really nice in this one. And again, a little magnet, and the box is very... So this is the first edition of Revelation. And I keep that in my Moonlit Fae bag. This is probably the deck that I've used the most. And then the second edition, which if you just look at that, it doesn't look that much different, does it? But it is. She adjusted the color. And the cards are quite different. Oh, that was the... Sorry, I did it backwards. This is the first print run. And this was 3,507 of these decks were printed. Okay, so okay. Now, this is the second printing of Revelation, okay? And the colors are bright and beautiful, and the images have changed somewhat. And of course, they're all whoppered because I use this deck. So I've already shown you the archangels are the kings. And on here you've got your magic square. This is an I Ching trigram, which is stands for water. They all have a name. This is the Archangel of Healing, which is the King of Cups. And they all have a magic number in the corner here. The major arcana is going to have, I believe that's Capricorn. That's the numbering system, the Golden Dawn. It's renamed the Demon rather than the Devil. It's got a title, Battling the Typhoon. This is the trigram for Earth. There's the magic number. And this, I forget exactly what this symbol is. It's probably like a basic planet symbol. I'll try and figure that out for you later. Okay, so here is the Five of Swords. Its title is the Hector, and this is referencing the Battle of Troy. There's Helen, and this is what's his name, the brother that ends up getting killed for nothing, basically. This is Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius. That is the Golden Dawn decan that it's referring to. This is the trigram for heaven, and the magic number that just means 5. Okay, so most of these cards will have something like that. All right. The aces will have water for the cups, and will have the trigram that goes with their suit. Okay, and she does do the Golden Dawn suits. I'm going to show you this. The aces, and I'll go over this again and put the chart up on the thing. But the aces all go, if you look at the zodiacal wheel, there are 4 points on it. And so that's what the IC, and the other one is MC, ascendant and descendant. There is a symbol on here that is different from the regular trigrams. And this is just Akasha. And these are, I'll go over that too. And basically what this means, if you're doing an I Ching reading with your cards, you just double, say you get this one, you double it rather than adding one on top of the other. All right, so I'm gonna end every one of these videos with a reading. So I'm gonna flip this so that it goes down. And I would suggest first that you go to Benebell's website and check her out. There's a good section on About Me, which is interesting. I've met Benebell, and she is just as nice and as regular as she seems on her YouTube channel and her Instagram. And I really enjoyed the experience of meeting her. People say don't meet your heroes, but sometimes your heroes really are just exactly the regular people that they seem to be. I would suggest, if you really want to study this deck, print at least the free medium white book. Keep your eye open. Look on eBay, Etsy, Mercado, but make sure that you're buying from a trusted seller, because the secondary market is weird. And all right, so we're going to begin at the very beginning. Here's Benebell, and one of the reasons that she is the Justice card in this Pocket of Peers deck is because she's a Libra. So we have the scales, but also Benebell is a lawyer. So Benebell is going to be with us during this. And I also chose one of the I Ching cards at random and one of the Way of the Warrior cards at random. Okay, so both of these seem like really good cards for beginning a study. And the first one is loyalty. Service of a greater good means you accept moral obligations and the duty to lend your strength to the weak. So we're gonna attempt to stick with it, right? We just come to this with whatever experience we have and whatever knowledge we have, and let it be an open forum for sharing and helping each other, right? And then number 42, which is increase, the burgeoning on the ascent, which basically, the wind over thunder, it is as you're flying over, you realize that you have an opportunity and you are wise enough to choose the correct things. Don't just grab anything. Get the right stuff, okay? So we're going to have stick-to-itiveness, and we're going to have increase. And we're going to do the Initiate's Tarot reading. You can take a screenshot of that. Let's see. There's a really nice picture that she did. And basically what this is we are going to take the cards and give them a nice shuffle, and we are going to I'm not going to go through all the prayers. I actually spoke the words earlier, but you can do that if you'd like. If you have a Spirit Keeper's deck, any one of them, I encourage you to do this yourself. Shuffle. And the idea behind this for me is, how will these lessons go? So this is the waters of the Undine, the shining waters. And you'll notice we have the water trigram. We have number 4 here in the magic numbers. You have the medallion here for water. This is, I think, someplace like Venice in the background. And the Undine, this is a water goddess. All the knights in the Spirit Keeper's Revelation have a like fairy or mythical creature that helps them, a helper creature. Okay, notice the water. What do you call these guys? I forget what you call them. Water horse, mirror horse, on the and so Waves of the Undine. So I'm gonna just go ahead and read this. I don't know how I feel about this card. I don't know how I feel about the Knight of Cups. I tend to think of him as a romantic, and I guess, we feel romantic about the cards. So let's see if they say anything on this page 83 of the book. The Four Empyrean Courts talks about, so you can take a screenshot of that in 2 parts and look at that. And then I'll go to the Shining Dew is what she called him before. And this book is for the Vitruvian, so it has the Vitruvian image in it. Okay? So the Shining Dew is alchemizing of the elemental nature of water to enhance social charisma. Okay, well, that already sounds good. Transmuted water is the qualities of cold and fluidity. Cold is the quality of the Shining Dew that endows you to help you decelerate, slow down your frenetic movements, find your calming center, and reflect. Fluidity is the quality of being like water, as is the Taoist philosophy of Wu Wei. And here, the Spirit is here to guide you toward free flow so that you might roll with the waves and let the natural movements of karma take you where you need to go. Knight of Chalices is your guide as you navigate the waters of destiny. The Shining Dew marks the alchemizing of our soul nature, or a chemical stage of albedo. Here is the quenching of the thirst for the waters of life. When this card appears in a divinatory reading, Spirit is telling you to sublimate what is deep within your psyche into the material world as a creative or artistic product. Allow your soul to be visible. This is Spirit reminding you that you are sacred and to express divinity as it expresses who you truly are. The Shining Dew is elemental water that will imminently fuel a realized outcome in your life relating to your interpersonal relationships, personal spirituality, psychic development, or matters relating to family, past lives, or ancestors. Okay, well, that sounds good for this. Okay, so even though I didn't trust it, the book brought out actually some really nice things as far as a meeting of the minds and alchemizing our emotional and social situation here for this this book work, this card work. And I hope you will join me for the next video, which hopefully I'll get in at least another one over this weekend. And of course, as always, thank you for coming.